Osiris' fatherhood. At noon, Robert high, like only he could. The fables are bizarre, but good. It's Myth
Understood.
Very good.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for joining us for another episode of Myth Understood, Egyptian Edition 3. Egyptian Edition is hard to say, apparently.
Egyptian Edition, what's your mission?
Yeah, I used to have that game on CD-ROM. It helped me learn math.
Was that a what were they called?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, conjunction, junction.
No, it was not a Schoolhouse Rock song.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for joining us again. It is Myth Understood with me, Paul Bianchi, and her,
Sarah Oliver.
Yeah, and boy, what has been going on?
What has been?
It is August in the longest year of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah, I've heard that you have been moving and shaking.
What have you heard? What have you seen? What do you know?
I think I saw that you were at the beach recently.
Oh yeah, I did that.
Yeah. How was that?
Well, some people from my acting class, some gals were like, let's have a social distance beach day, and dropped a pin. And it was that thing where I parked in Meg's. We have a friend who lives on the beach. So I parked in her garage, and then I walked to the pin, and then somebody else, when I got to that pin, dropped me another pin and was like, where are you? And it was all the way back where I had started.
Oh.
So I did an hour and 45 minutes of just walking and then pounding the hard seltzers while I walked.
That sounds great. That sounds like a good way to spend a Saturday.
Yeah, and then got into the water and really tried, you know how I try to bond with the pelicans, and they kept flying away from me.
I didn't know it was specifically with pelicans that you try to bond
animal.
with. Yeah, I've seen you bond with a seal before. I've seen you bond with a squirrel.
Yeah, any animal around, and
anything except for a human is what I've seen you bond with.
I just haven't found anything redeemable about one yet.
Yeah,
not so cute. What have you been doing? Not getting sunburned and.
I've been inside. I've been writing for work. I've been writing for pleasure, and I have been writing for speculative work.
And speculative pleasure.
Speculative pleasure, true.
Yeah, that erotica. That you send me a little too late at night.
Well, I want to hear your opinion when it's most appropriate. So today we're going to be talking about a god. But
Duh.
by a god, I mean you. Like, I felt like in Greek mythology, I was able to very quickly and easily section off, like, this is Zeus. Here are some myths about Zeus. This is Athena. Here are some myths about Athena. Everyone's very intertwined.
Yeah, it's ensemble. This isn't like Thor, his movie. This is Avengers, you're saying? Like, everybody gets a piece of the cake?
Yeah. So today we're gonna start with one to focus, and then other characters are just gonna take focus, and that's just what happens.
And that's just life.
That's just life, yeah. Or death.
Today,
Today, we are going to talk about a god with many titles. Among them, the ruler of the universe, the ruler of eternity, the king of the gods, the lord of the living, and the Wennefer.
excuse me?
The Wennefer.
The Wennefer?
Wennefer.
Okay.
Which translates roughly to he who is in everlasting good condition.
Oh, yeah.
And of course,
So just a god of being hottie.
and of course, the god we're talking about is the god who is popularly known in English as Osiris, but is also known as User.
Oh, are you, sir? Right, this way. We've got your table ready.
Exactly. So what do you know about Osiris?
I've heard the name.
You've heard the name.
There we go.
Okay,
Move
very
on.
good.
Full speed ahead.
Osiris is, I'm going to start without getting into mythology too much. I just hit my elbow against the side table.
Owie.
It wasn't that hurty.
Do you want to see I stub my toe?
Yes.
really bad.
Yes, show us,
Do you
Sarah.
see this?
Okay.
No, but you see. Doesn't that look awful?
Uh-huh.
I hit it on a sidewalk last night when I was walking in the dark, and I got so angry I just took a picture of it, of the sidewalk, like in my brain being like, oh, the city's got to see this. And then I got home and was like, no one cares.
Yeah. There's this one time I was running to Sarah's house with my hands in my pockets.
Oh, yeah, classic.
And that was a bad idea. And I tripped over a crack in the sidewalk, and I couldn't catch myself because I couldn't free my hands from my pockets quickly enough. And so I just sort of like butterflied my elbows out and caught myself on like my forearms so that I didn't like hit my face against the sidewalk.
Well, that's at least smart.
And then
everything else is so dumb.
And then I was there on the ground face down, and these people walked by walking their chihuahua, and it was like a movie because they both walked past me, and then the chihuahua walked over my back, and no one said anything.
Not even. Oh, sorry, Bob.
No.
How long ago is this? Sounds like a 10-year-old story.
No, I was going to your house.
Yeah, we've known each other 11 years.
It sounds like a 10-year-old. I thought you were saying a 10-year-old's
No.
story. I was like, math. No, it happened when I was, I don't know. I was in my 20s at some point.
Yeah, because now you don't wear as tight of jeans as you did back in the day, so I could see that happening.
My jean tightness had nothing to do with it. It was certainly
Your girthy hands.
my hands, my girthy hands in my slender pockets. No, because it was in my jacket pocket.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now Yusa, continue.
All right. So Osiris's origins historically stem from an amalgamation of some even more ancient fertility, agricultural, and death gods, such as Angeti of Busiris, who is depicted with the same insignia and had very similar mythology.
Oh, okay. So he's like how Odin had a bunch of other things that could have been him too.
Yeah.
All right.
And either the people of ancient Egypt were just like predisposed to take a liking to Osiris, or more likely, his devout followers were just like better at advertising.
Yeah. Come and get your Osiris right this way.
So as the cult spread, the priests of Heliopolis were forced to integrate Osiris among the other popular deities to make sense of his growing importance. And so that's sort of that. That's the that. Osiris is visually frequently depicted with green skin. And if you remember, I forget, I watched some Ancient Aliens. Did you watch Ancient Aliens?
No, I never got a chance to because you would call me and fully debrief me about every episode after you watched it.
Did I really?
Yes. Don't you remember your Ancient Alien phase? Were you obsessed with it?
Yeah, because it was really funny.
But you would tell me everything, so I was like, all right, don't have to watch that episode.
Well, if you, the listener, have if you ever watched it, you might remember hearing that Osiris's green skin is one of the theoretical evidences that the gods were actually aliens. And, maybe that's true, but hear me out. Historians tend to agree that it harkens back to his origins as an agricultural god, as there were many other gods throughout history that had green skin like the grass.
Yeah, he's like Earth.
Yeah.
Like the old man who's running around who is Earth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Geb is also depicted with green skin, and Gaia gets depicted with green skin sometimes. Yeah. So that's a thing. He's also, as evidence of his previous time as a more agricultural god, he is depicted wielding the instruments of goading.
Like, come on, you can do it. Get over there, do it.
Yeah.
Like, move.
Yeah, because so anything used to herd animals, like a herding staff, is a kind of goad, which is where we get that word for goad.
Quit goading me on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or egging me on.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing.
Sometimes you goad eggs.
You goad to lead.
How do you like your eggs? Goated.
Yeah. Poached. You know, I like it poached.
I know you like it poached.
So his instruments were specifically a crook and a flail.
What's a flail?
So you know the crook is like the 12-inch stick with like a hook at the end.
Yeah, it's like a sigh.
And you'd use that to put around
bad comics in 1930s cartoons.
Yeah, and you'd use that to like put around an animal or a human's neck. And then the flail is like a cat o' nine tails, like for spanking.
That's what I thought. It was a whip. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I own several.
Mm-hmm. And the safe word that he used was Nebet Hetepet. So it's easy to remember.
Nebet Hetepet?
Actually, no. Nebet Hetepet is a goddess of goodwill.
Sounds sexy.
Mm-hmm. But
so he's a little all over the place in his description. They're like, he's the god of everything, but mostly hurting.
Yeah, I mean,
and he has these tools for hurting.
And that's sort of the way a lot of these gods started out, where they were just like the gods of local villages, and so they did preside over many things. And then
so he never got upgraded like in a video game where you're like, okay, level 1 you had that crook, but now you get this staff of the king of the gods. You get this, you know.
No, he
sword.
just sort of keeps them out of nostalgia.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So speaking of his safe word, there are also a collection of depictions of Osiris in his naughty years as a fertility god.
Oh, so he was using that whip for other reasons. Okay.
So like many fertility gods, Osiris would be depicted with an erection.
Thank you.
But
do you have any pics?
I do in my book, but I didn't bring my book. But the difference between him and other fertility gods I found is that he was not naked.
Oh, boring. I told you, if you want me to be on this podcast, I need to see a boner every 30 minutes.
He was fully clothed, but with his erection poking out through like a hole in the front.
Oh, wait. So the dick comes out of the clothes?
Yeah.
That's more graphic.
Sort of like a fly in the front of the pants, and then it just like, yeah.
That is more graphic.
You know what?
That makes him a flasher.
Yeah. Do you know what it takes me back to? So in art school,
you want a reaction from me? I'm not gonna give you one. Don't hold for applause.
in art school, I could not find my first
erection.
I searched far and wide. No, I couldn't find where my art history class was, and I was like looking all over this building. I was a freshman, lost in college, and I finally found it. And so, of course, I was late to the lecture that was going on. And I opened the door, and the first slide that I see is a photograph by Robert Mapplethorpe, who is a famous queer photographer. And this famous photo that he took is like a man from the chest to his knees, and he's wearing a business suit, and his just large veiny dick is sticking out through his pants.
How do I order that
print
for my mom? Pre-framed.
Probably very easily.
Okay.
It's a pretty famous print.
Okay.
So if you don't know who Robert Mapplethorpe is, do yourself a favor.
And Google it.
Yeah, and Google it. Go find that picture.
Next time we record, I really do want pictures of every penis you reference.
All right, so we have 2 so far.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there will be more. So you'd be pleased to know that Osiris also had animal friends.
Yes, I'm pleased.
Mm-hmm.
What kind?
Well, first I should let you know that friends is a little bit of a strong word. Basically, Egyptian gods had familiars called Ba.
Oh. Ba?
Ba, B-A.
Okay.
And they were an extension of their spirit.
Oh, so they're like familiars that are physically connected to them?
Sometimes.
Interesting.
Sometimes disconnected. And
they are another compartmentalized part of them or something?
Yeah, it's sort of hard to describe, and I think something's a little bit lost in translation. But
Can they warg into them? Is what I'm really asking.
Probably.
Ooh.
I would say that it's sort of like Athena and her owl, Zeus and his eagle, Artemis and her stag, but more ambiguously part of them because sometimes they are them, sometimes they're just sitting next to them, and
Let's
sometimes
call them wargs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with Osiris, he's got a falcon, he's got a ram, and he's got a scarab beetle.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a group
Yep.
of animals.
Sometimes the falcon is just a falcon. Sometimes it's purely ornamentation, and sometimes it's part of Osiris.
Oh, like on his body? Like he has feathers?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Sometimes it like is on, like it's like fused into his crown. It's just sort of like,
I think I've seen that.
yeah. It's sort of like a Batman with like his like whole bat thing, except if he was 3 animal man, which would be very weird.
What do you think his other 2 animals would be? Because he's already got bat, so it's got to be bizarre like ram and beetle.
Oh gosh, I feel like they would have to like symbolize something in him.
Okay, so he's emo and he's rich.
He's emo and he's rich, so like
Bat's already emo.
Bat's emo. What's rich? Like a clam?
I was gonna say. Okay, the clam can be the beetle, but I also think like miniature Shetland pony, because only rich people have those.
Yeah. Okay.
So those are stray animals. The clam.
Bivalve, man. But sometimes this falcon has a name, and the name is either Sokar or Sikar, and he is sometimes he's his own god. He's this falcon god of craftsmanship.
Craftsmanship?
Mm-hmm.
He's just like flying over things, being like,
well, because
more
sometimes
Elmer's glue.
Because sometimes he's either all bird or he's a man with a bird head.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So, and I'm assuming he's doing the crafting when he's got.
Oh, he does the crafting. He's not just like overseeing. He's not a foreman.
Well, he might as the bird. He might oversee humans' craftsmanship, but I like to think that he does his own crafting.
Okay.
Just
he makes his friends
friendship
falcon
bracelets.
Falcon friendship bracelets. Yeah.
So the same goes for the ram, who is sometimes just a ram or a part of Osiris, or sometimes a part of Ra, and
same ram.
Same ram.
He can't be sharing familiars.
Oh, sure he can, because sometimes Osiris and Ra are the same thing.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's all very amorphous.
Anamorphous.
Yeah. And he's the ram is also sometimes known as, it's spelled Khnum, but I'm told it's pronounced Keenum.
It's not cum?
No, it's not cum.
I think it's cum.
I forgot you were on that game show, Is It Cum? But he's the personification of creative force. So a good.
Also, they're at the table for crafts bracelets.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm just gonna help you make them, but if you really want to feel inspired, talk to the ram.
So much glitter.
And lastly, here's the worst god.
The beetle.
The beetle. It is Khepri. And he is the aspect of creation of life, which is like very important.
Yeah.
But
is he the worst?
He's the worst because he is either a scarab or a scarab-faced god.
Ooh, faced?
Uh-huh.
The human body?
Human body, scarab face.
Beetle face?
But here's the thing too.
Beetle face.
Unlike Sekar and Khnum, Khepri doesn't have like a beetle's face as his face. His face is just one big scarab.
He got beetle head, body babe face. What?
Yeah, his face is literally like a giant beetle in place of his face.
Like, what cartoon could he even fit in without animation?
I don't know.
Something on Adult Swim.
Something, yeah. I just imagine like the legs,
like Aqua Teen
and
Hunger
everything.
Force.
He's just like, kill me. Like he's just a nonsensical
but
abomination.
Then he has human arms and legs.
Human arms and legs.
And he wears pants.
Well, he wears a skirt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All men wore skirts back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's sad. I feel bad for him. There's no way he found love.
No, I looked. I was like, where? Who did he couple with? And the answer is no one.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's awful. And he's supposed to be life, and that's true because life is giving it to us all so raw right now. So all of us are beetle faces.
That needs to be a quote, and it needs to be on a shirt. Beetle face, beetle face, beetle face. All right, so back to Osiris and his mythology. This is actually the myth that I know, like 2 myths before even going into this podcast about Egyptian mythology, and this is one of them. But it was really fun to reread this and find more details that I didn't learn as a kid. How
fun!
Oh, so fun! Just like I wore a party hat as I did it.
Oh wee!
And I had a noisemaker in my mouth.
That's what I saw.
It's also our friend Cameron's birthday as we're recording this.
Oh, little Cam Bam!
And so yeah, I was doing it out of honor to him. So much of what we know in regards to Egyptian mythology is thanks to Plutarch. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because he was a Greek philosopher and essayist who lived from 46 to 119 AD.
Ah,
and
that's a good span of a life.
And we definitely referenced him before when we were talking about Greek mythology.
Plutarch? Don't remember that name.
Okay. Well, we did. So...
Why don't you kill yourself?
So I will, before I continue, I will say, hey, thank you, Plutarch, for taking an interest in chronicling Egyptian mythology and probably changing it and imposing your own worldview on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you remember where we left off in Egyptian mythology?
Big old orgy.
Big old orgy.
There's a guy, and he had one guy. There's the sun.
Yeah.
There's an egg.
Mm-hmm. So after the creation of the world, the first 4 gods were born under the union of Geb, the earth, and Nut, the sky.
Nut, yeah.
And those were the brothers, Osiris and Set, and the sisters, Isis and Nephthys.
Isis.
Mm-hmm. Osiris, as the firstborn, assumed rule as Lord of Earth.
Is that... Okay, I know that's always existed, but it's real silly. Like, you can get to know someone as they mature, and then you go, oh, like, the second or third born is obviously the better one to rule. Why has that always existed?
I guess it depends on how spaced out.
Dibs?
I guess it depends on how spaced out they are. Like, if you have, like, a 13-year-old by the time you have your next baby, and you're like, oh, who's going to take over my company? It's probably going to be that.
But that's like the reason for all of the murders back in the medieval ages when there was no, birth control, and they were just trying to pound out heirs. They're like, oh, the pox is going to get them.
Yeah.
So they would like kill each other because there can only be one.
Funny you should say that.
Oh, fuck. Who's dying?
Oh, people. So after he became Lord of the Earth, he said, Isis, Nephthys, let me have a look at you.
We're some gals.
Do a spin.
Do you like what you see? Do you want to do some incest?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mysis, I choose Isis.
I'm a witch.
She is a witch.
Yeah.
And so he chooses Isis to be his queen. And perhaps this is the first mistake that Osiris makes. Because...
Is he still a little baby right now?
No, I think he's very quickly a man.
Okay. Chest hair.
Because this first mistake is that in choosing Isis, Nephthys is negged.
Oh.
And as she is successfully negged, she becomes simultaneously angry and turned on.
Yes.
She wants Osiris so much, but she knows she can't have him, and she ends up with Set, and is disgruntled.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All horned up for my brother.
Yep.
Spurned.
And I have to be with the ugly brother instead because he's second born.
What's Set's power?
I will get to that in
Oh.
another episode.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about Osiris.
Mm.
So, sometimes in this myth, Isis and Osiris have a baby right away. That baby is Horus. He has a falcon head. He is super important. But I'm going to tell you the version where he is not born right away because it's objectively better.
Okay.
And besides, Osiris and his sister wife deserve a nice honeymoon.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they should probably be married for a while before they start popping out kids, right?
That's what my brother and I agreed.
Yeah.
Ew.
Your brother and you
Yeah.
agreed on what?
I was trying to make a joke, but it's really nasty to think about.
Okay. I thought you were speaking truthfully and saying that like your brother and you
Yes,
in
truthfully,
independent marriages.
we're getting married to each other.
No, in independent marriages from each other have both agree on the fact that one should wait a while before you start popping out kids in your individual marriages.
Yeah, well, he's already not done that.
No,
So.
he has not. All right, so around this time, humans are created. And what happens is
Who created humans?
I'm getting there.
Fucking hell.
What happens is Tefnut and Shu,
Tough nut.
Tefnut, goddess of moisture, Shu, god of air, the first two children of Ra, the sun god.
Is Tough Nut the WAP goddess?
She is, yeah. Because and she demands that to happen because she wants to frolic away for some hanky panky.
Awesome. And Shu.
With Shu, yeah, her brother. They probably want some privacy from their all-seeing dad, and so they go really far into the new.
The new?
Oh yeah, the new. That's the NU. It's the name for all-consuming dark chaos that existed before life and existence itself.
Okay.
So
Where was that spot for you as a teenager?
oh man, probably after 6th grade camp.
No, like your hookup spot.
Oh, I thought you just mean like my
No.
dark, depressing time. I didn't have. I couldn't find it as a kid because I just
You
no.
didn't have a makeout. I'm talking makeout. I'm not saying go boning, but like we would drive into the mountains.
Oh, gosh, I was a good kid. I didn't really do that.
Oh, you didn't have little smooches?
No, it didn't happen. Well, I had like little smooches, but I didn't have like a makeout place until college.
You missed out on some empty space new land.
Yeah, I guess I did. So while they're there, they get lost in
Wait, yeah, in outer space, right?
yeah. And so Ra is a worried dad, and like most worried dads do, he plucks out his own eye.
All right.
You might be surprised to learn that immediately after plucking out his eye takes on a life of its own.
Oh no, he has a GPS tracking system on those kids.
His eye is a girl,
Oh.
and she is the disembodied eye of Ra.
Whoa.
And the disembodied eye of Ra, like you might be familiar with, it's like very iconographic to Egyptian hieroglyphics. It's just like that eye with the little swirl underneath. Yeah.
It's a girl. That's cute.
Yeah. Ra says, I
Yeah.
go forth, find my children, interrupt their sex, and please bring them back to me. They are lost in the new.
How should I do that if I'm a floating eyeball?
Well, you're a floating, glowing eyeball, so
Yeah.
you can help light the way.
Yeah, but I can't touch them because I'm very sensitive.
That's okay. Yeah, you don't have to touch
I'll
them.
start watering like crazy.
Yeah, just talk to them.
And there's no allergens in my way. There's no like pollen
No,
because
there's-
that'll fuck me up.
No, there's nothing in the new.
Okay,
Yeah,
I can do that.
yeah. All right. Thanks, dear.
Mwah. I'm just blinking.
Oh, butterfly kisses. So the eye says sure thing and disappears into the new. Imagine being Tefnut and Shu in this moment when you're like, oh shit, Tefnut, we're lost. What are we gonna do?
I guess we just got a bone.
Oh my, what is that floating towards us?
That fucking eyeball.
Yeah, so the Eye of Ra floats towards them out of the darkness. she explains, I'll lead the way, and successfully leads Tefnut and Shu back to Ra.
Great.
And
then does not go back inside him.
No.
Oh.
And her feelings are hurt when this happens. She goes back to Ra and discovers that he has healed and made himself a new eye.
It's just weird for me because I don't know how I can exist in society.
You'll figure it out. You're a smart girl.
I really don't even have a brain.
So the Eye of Ra is so sad that Ra has just like made another eye to fill the void, and she can't just like rejoin her dad and pop herself back into his head. That
she just like goes to the craft table and draws on a cotton pad and is like, I found another eye.
Yeah, she meets up with Kenem. He inspires her with creativeness, and
I'm on a paper plate now. I'm on face.
She instead begins to cry and cries all over Egypt, cries over the Nile Delta, and fertilizes the land, and her tears make animals and humans just like pop up out of the earth.
Oh. So humans were just seeds.
Humans were just teardrop seeds, yeah.
Oh.
And so that's what the little curly Q is underneath the eye in the famous eye. It's a tear.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like the most humans are nothing of all the creation stories we've heard. Like no one made them in their image. They're just like
no, yeah.
Fucking popped up. You know
they didn't even get breathed life into them.
Yeah,
they were just like, here you are. Yeah.
And we are just salty bags of tears running around trying to make it through the day to day, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. We're super emotional. So Osiris looked down upon this world that he now ruled, and he was like, well, that's cool.
That's mine.
That's mine. I get it. I'm first. It's
Dibs.
mine. Shotgun. So yeah, he looks out and he sees the animals. It makes him happy. He sees the earth. It makes him happy. He looks at the people and he's just like, oh God, these people suck.
Yeah.
They are uncivilized. They are lawless.
No one has a beetle face.
No one has a beetle face.
Boring. Ugly.
So he decides to give them laws, culture, religious instruction, and agriculture. He loves agriculture.
And it just says he gives it, and there's no explanation of how.
Not in the text that I've read.
Just like a confetti bag.
Yes.
Ah, it's
Yeah.
rip torn.
He hands them a bat and hangs a dangly beetle above them, and they all hit it with the bat.
Oh, a little pinata.
Yeah, a little except it's a real beetle and just guts rain down upon them. Now, so Egypt becomes a paradise with slaves under Osiris's rule, and everyone was mostly equal except for the slaves.
Yep.
And there was an abundance of food except for the slaves.
Oh.
And there were crops and everything was always plentiful except if you were a slave.
Mm-hmm.
Set is really jealous of his brother's success and grows very resentful. And it doesn't help that his wife, Nephthys, is absolutely smitten with his brother. She was so into Osiris that one night she disguises herself as Isis and sneaks into his bed. They had the sex, and you bet that Nephthys became preggers with that god seed.
Wow. So he's actually like a faithful person. She couldn't just say like, hey, do you want to cheat on your wife?
No, she didn't seduce him or anything. She had to she seduced him as Isis, but like, that's not hard if that's your wife.
Dang.
Yeah. So the thing that she did though, that might be surprising is that she doesn't even pretend that this didn't happen. As soon as it happens and she like escapes with like his sperm in her, like she tells Isis, she tells her mom and dad, she tells Ra.
This is becoming like a reality episode. Like she tells everyone over brunch.
Yeah.
You know, it's the screaming across the big brunch table scene.
Yeah, and yelling at someone with a cat head on the other side.
Exactly.
Tefnut has a lioness head, so yeah. So she tells Set. And Set is furious now that his wife is now pregnant with his brother's child.
Who's he more mad at?
Uh,
Couldn't take it down on that baby.
no, he's more mad at Osiris.
Oh,
Right now, he's more mad at Osiris.
you shouldn't have been so handsome.
Yeah, exactly.
What you doing being born first? You call dibs all the time.
Isis is really understanding to Osiris because
I get it. I
Her-
get it.
her sister's really good at disguises.
Yeah. You have a talent. You SNL's gonna pick you up. You do great impressions.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Thank
just
you.
wait. Season 57.
So, regardless of the circumstance, knocking up Set's wife was mistake number 2.
Is it a mistake though? Like, it's if anything, it's an accident.
Well, yeah, but it's still like you're racking up things that lead to the tragedy that's about to befall
Oh, no.
Osiris.
Oh no, Osiris
Mm-hmm.
has a tragedy.
Yeah. So Set decided to enact jealous revenge on Osiris.
Mm-mm.
The first thing he does is he has a beautiful coffin made.
He's really passive aggressive.
Yeah. It's covered in jewels. It's painted
Why do they do
gloriously in
coffins?
gold. No, they do coffins. They mummify the people and then they set them in coffins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not the coffins the way we think of coffins.
No, these are
Sarcophaguses.
sarcophaguses. Yeah, painted with detailed faces
Okay.
on them. And,
Which is what I want,
Yeah.
by the way.
Oh.
If I say it on this, you'll have to do it.
gosh, you would be a perfect person to attend this party that I'm about to tell you about.
Okay, great.
So this beautiful coffin is made to Osiris's exact measurements. Then he throws a grand party.
Yeah.
I assume that humans are invited because there's not enough gods in existence yet to like make it a grand party.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yeah, so invite those weird teardrop things.
Yeah. And at this party, he's like does the toast thing, and he's like, "Hey everyone, thanks for coming to this party. I'm gonna be really frank with you. This is what really the real reason I brought you all here is it's for the children." And no, he doesn't say that, but he pulls back a crushed velvet curtain, and behind the curtain is this beautiful coffin, and he says,
Wow.
"I had this beautiful coffin commissioned, and anyone here who fits this coffin gets to have it."
Wow. What a treat. All we think about is death. We live in the desert.
So everyone loves the morbid gift,
Yeah.
and everyone starts lining up to
Me,
try on
me,
the coffin and see if it fits their
Life
body
is pain.
perfectly.
Release me now.
Everyone wants it, and this is Osiris's third mistake, is falling for this very obvious trap.
I know things have been weird, man. Do you mind if I try that coffin out?
Oh,
It's pretty.
I don't know. I mean, John over there, like, it's a near fit if you just like would chop off one of his fingers. You know?
Go. I don't want to pull that card, but dibs. Can I dibs? Can I get in the coffin? Dibs.
You can dibs.
All right.
You know, and defense of Osiris here, I think it's it's the beginning of the world, and no one has invented evil hijinks yet.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why he so easily falls for it. He gets in the coffin, perfect fit, of course.
This is lovely.
The craftsman, probably the falcon, made a beautiful, perfectly fitted coffin, and Set immediately slams the lid on, fastens it shut, and picks it up and hurls it into the Nile, where it is quickly carried away downriver.
A magic show.
Yeah, everyone thinks it's a magic show except for Isis, who is devastated when she watches this, and she's just
Why?
like, she's so upset. She's standing next to her sister, who is pregnant with her husband's child, and is just like, what the hell? What am I gonna do?
Yeah. What's even happening? Whoa.
Whoa.
Wow.
Osiris's body travels out to sea, and eventually his coffin becomes lodged in a great tamarisk tree growing near Byblos in Phoenicia. The tree grows quickly around the coffin until it's completely contained.
Normal.
Uh-huh. And well, we've seen I used to have this book as a kid where it was all about a bike that gets lodged in a tree. And
What do you mean I've seen? When do you show me your child books?
I don't know.
When you read me bedtime stories, you do make them ups.
Oh, that's true. Well, I'll share this with you later. There's this really great Christmas kids book that has an actual picture at the end of a like red bike lodged in a tree in the middle of a forest.
The Christmas book? That sounds like a sad ending.
No, it's really good. It's interesting. It's all about how like a horrible kid gained perspective.
He ran full speed into a tree, died.
Merry Christmas. So anyway, the king of Byblos comes to shore with his wife and thinks that it's the most beautiful tree he's ever seen. So he orders it cut down. And they bring it into his palace as an ornamental pillar for the court. And there Osiris remains trapped inside the coffin within the pillar until he suffocates and dies.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Wait, so he still had air for a long time.
Well, he's a god, so he had like more lung capacity.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he dies.
He dies.
So gods in Egyptian mythology can die just like the Norse?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. So he didn't have much of a rule.
Well, the story's not over.
Fuck.
So Isis leaves Egypt in search of her husband and eventually comes to Byblos disguised as an old woman.
Why?
She thought it works out so well for Nephthys so that she's like,
you
okay.
think you're the one who's good with wigs.
So she goes to the shore of Byblos and cries out for her missing husband. And she runs into the queen, and the queen invites her to the palace to become a royal handmaiden. And
But she's an old woman?
yeah,
I don't think you get to do that when you're old.
she just feels like she's
Hey, crazy lady screaming by the river.
the
You
queen.
not work for me?
The queen takes pity on her.
Okay.
She's just like, you feel so bad. You lost your husband. That's terrible. Hey, I need help taking care of all of my young children.
Can you give me a Brazilian wax?
Isis is so struck by the kindness of the queen that she decides to reward the queen by turning the youngest son immortal. And this is where we get crossover into Greek mythology.
Stop it.
Because this plays
A
out
network crossover.
very similarly to a myth with Demeter when she's grieving for Persephone. I don't know if you remember, but Demeter bathed a woman's child in flames to try to turn him immortal.
Yeah, that had to be a weird first 30 seconds. No. Oh!
So Isis does the same thing. She bathes the baby in fire, and
Okay.
the queen catches her doing this, and she's horrified. Like, why are you roasting my son?
Yeah.
And it's then that Isis does her wig reveal and reveals herself as the goddess, and the king and queen bow down to her and say like, oh, we're so sorry for doubting you, and now our son doesn't get to be fully immortal.
He didn't get to be.
No.
Oh, shit.
But they said, we promise you will give we'll give you anything you want us if you spare us and if you promise not to burn our children anymore. And Isis is like, yeah, well, since I've arrived, I've felt my husband's energy emanating from that pillar in your throne room.
He got that BDE.
Yeah. I need that pillar. And they're like, sure, absolutely, take it. And so she grabs the pillar over one shoulder.
Yes.
Just walks out
I knew
of the court.
Isis would be my favorite.
Isis cuts Osiris's withered corpse from the tree and carries it back to Egypt. And she knows she has to hide him from Set. And so she hides him in a swampy region of the Nile Delta. This is where Isis makes a mistake.
Oh, shit.
She decides, okay, I'm a witch. I need to go gather some herbs and prepare a potion to bring Osiris back to life.
I gotta season that boy.
But I also need someone to guard Osiris's body.
Oh,
Who can I trust?
No, not your date rape sister.
Yes, she
No.
trusts Nephthys
No.
to guard him. So while she's gone, Set wonders where his wife is. And so he walks around Egypt, and he's a god. He gets around very quickly.
Is she still pregnant or no?
She's still pregnant.
Oh, so this is not that long of a time.
No. And he finds, it's just the tree grew unusually fast around the coffin.
Well, that happens.
At first you're like that happens, and now you're like, well, that happens.
Yeah, it's super normal.
And he finds Nephthys doing that thing where she's like pretending that nothing's going on when like clearly something's going on.
Yeah.
Like he's like, Nephthys, what are you doing in the swamp?
Oh, I'm gonna have sex soon.
What?
I'm gonna have snacks soon. Can you go get me a Burger King? Jesus.
I think you're hiding something from
I'm
me.
horny. I'm done with this conversation. Get out.
Ultimately, she buckles under the pressure, though, and she points to where Osiris's body is.
Oh, he's in a swamp. Wish he was in my swamp.
Move it, toots. And he pushes past her, pulls out an axe.
Oh, fuck.
And just hacks up Osiris's body into pieces and scatters it across the land. And then he's like, that takes care of that. And then he leaves, and Nephthys is just like, oh fuck, Isis is gonna be so pissed at me. So Isis returns and is horrified at finding like a hand. Like
Nephthys is just looking at a magazine. What?
And
play cool.
Nephthys feels so guilty that she says to Isis, I will help you. I swear to you, I'll help you find every piece of Osiris so we can put them back together. And Isis says, okay, yeah, I guess it'll take less time if we split up. So they split up. They find all of the pieces, every piece except for what, Sarah?
Dick.
His dick. Yep.
Yeah, I knew it.
They find every piece except for his dick. Osiris's penis was thrown into the Nile and eaten by the Oxyrhynchus fish.
Oh.
Which is why this fish was a forbidden food in ancient Egypt, because that fish got dick breath.
We need that dick fish.
Isis did not come this far to be denied Osiris's penis. So she takes the fish, she incorporates it into her spell, makes a new, bigger and better penis.
Oh my God. Take that, Set.
Uses her magic to bring her husband back to life, and while she's bringing him back to life, cannot wait. Has sex with him during the spell. Sometimes in the form of a crane. Because why not?
What? A crane.
And
the sexiest of birds.
And this is where she becomes pregnant with her son Horus. See, way better than him being born already, right?
So much better.
Yeah. It's not an entirely happy ending, because even though Osiris is brought back to life, he is forever changed. He's been dead for too long, and he can no longer rule in the land of the living because rules.
Oh, he's like a Hades now, huh?
Mm-hmm. He withdraws into the afterlife, where he becomes Lord and Judge of the dead. Isis can visit him, but she can't stay for too long.
Oh, so Persephone shit.
Mm-hmm. She belongs to the land of the living, and her son, that she's now pregnant with, would become the new king of the gods. So
is that Ra?
That's Horus.
Horus.
And so Isis, fearing what Set might do to her son, gives birth in secrecy and hides Horus among the swamps of Egypt until he is grown. And that's where we leave this story off.
Cliffhanger. That was a fun story. I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
You know I like any time, we got some Lorena Bobbitt stuff going on.
And Isis does some very empowered, witchy stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, come hell or high water, I will have my man. And that's what she got.
She did.
Good for her. Yeah, her sister is a bit of a wild card, but I like that even still they overcome their obstacles and they pair up.
Yeah.
It's a fun TV series, I see.
What's funny is that when it's listed like Osiris, now god of the dead, it says Isis is the throne goddess. And then Nephthys, it says the dark aspect of Isis, or Isis's parallel. But she's like not really a goddess of much of anything except for like fucking up
shit up for Isis. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's people that have those type of people in their lives.
Yeah, she's just my toxic sister. It's fine. Yeah. I can't cut her out though because I love her.
I love her. Come on, boys and girls, to Sokar's table. Come on, everybody, come to Sokar's arts and crafts table.
Hey, everyone. I'm Sokar. Thanks.
Yay!
Thanks for joining for today's episode. Today, we're going to make some enjoyable craft.
Fuck! Shit! Fuck!
What's going on?
Ugh. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, okay? I'm trying to do a finger paint, but I don't know if I should use my human hands or my beetle hands that are on my face.
Chill out, Kepri. You're scaring the children.
Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah. Oh, I scare them just by existing, by sheer existence?
Yes, please put that bag back over your head.
I want to make a new face. Help me make a new face.
All right. Well, we were going to make God's eyes in anticipation, sort of in celebration of Ra. But today, instead, we're going to make masks. We might need some creative inspiration for that. What do you say, Keenum?
I say we make fish penises.
Keenum.
Penises out of fish.
Well, you heard him, Kepri. You're overruled. We're making fish penises today.
Yay! At Sokar's arts and crafts table.
Well, that was cute.
Aww. Yeah, could you hear all the kids singing?
Uh-huh.
I tried to have 1,000 voices.
You know that I've always thought that if you were a goddess, you'd be the goddess of 1,000 voices.
Children. 1,000 children.
1,000 children. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of Myth Understood. We enjoy doing it. It's nice to get together and pretend that everything's normal.
Everything's broken.
Everything's broken and normal.
If you want to watch us keep trying to show the charade of everything's normal, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Paul Bianchi and at the Sarah Oliver.
And you can find this podcast at _Myth Understood and our parent network, Dragon Wagon Radio, at It's Dragon Wagon.
And if you want to throw some support our way, it always helps to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. That's how people find us. And that's how we find any sort of self-esteem, is when you say you like us. And you can always support us in the way of dollar bills, y'all, if you want to sign up for our Patreon, which is Myth Understood.
It is. So, great. Have a good day.
You 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 sir.
Night.
Hey there, Mythfits. This is producer of the show, Jake Lloyd here, co-founder of Dragon Wagon Radio. I just wanted to take a quick moment to tell you about my debut feature film, Pinch. Pinch is a story of two strangers brought together by the chance to own a rare and valuable sports collectible, but to do so, they're tasked with stepping out of their comfort zones and onto a baseball field. It's a story about love, family, how we define success, and how sometimes it's hard to look beyond our own insecurities. I made Pinch with no budget, no crew, just a ton of heart, and I am thrilled to finally share it with you. You can rent or buy it digitally on Amazon or watch for free on Prime Video. Visit pinchmovie.com and follow at Pinch Movie on Instagram for more info on this charming little movie that means the world to me. Thank you so much for listening to Dragon Wagon Radio and Myth Understood. I appreciate your time. Now let's hear that awesome little network stinger that comes at the end of each and every show. Hey, you know, the voice on that little network stinger, that's Tony Wayne, star of Pinch, now on Amazon. See what I did there? Okay, bye. I love you. Thank you so much. Pinchmovie.com.
It's Dragon Wagon.